All right, first question. Jocko, do you ever feel burnt out from going full tilt several days or several weeks in a row? And if so, what do you do?
Never. No, of course. Burning the candle at both ends, eventually it's going to catch up with you. And for me, it's can come in the form of too much travel, too much exercise. Sometimes I'll just be pressed at work, working with a bunch of different companies. Sometimes I'm writing and I'm trying to get a bunch of writing done. Sometimes I'm training so much jujitsu, it's going crazy. So anyways, or a lot of times it's the combination of all these things going on at once because I'm trying to get a bunch done in a short amount of time, and I end up coming off the track a little bit, coming off the rails a little bit. And so what do I do on those kind of days when I'm starting to feel like that? Well, number one, I like to force myself to do it anyways. That is a reality. So even if I don't feel like working out, I'll be like, you know what, just go do a quick workout, an easier workout. Or I don't want to train jujitsu. We were talking about this earlier. Don't really feel like training. Gonna go train anyways. Then maybe there's some form of work that I'm supposed to do. I'm just gonna go and do the work anyways. Now, if the next day I still feel like I need a break, that's sort of my red flag to say, all right, you know what? You need a break. You need to take some time, relax, do some kind of active rest. I don't really like just kind of sitting around. I'll do something kind of active and probably eat some steaks, plural. Trying to eat something really good. I might eat something really good, like steaks, and maybe sleep, take an extra nap, try and feel better, do some kind of stretching to try and feel better. Just recover. So yes, I'm not superhuman like anybody else. Sometimes I get broken down, beaten up, and I need some downtime. And that's what I do. I try and rest, relax, and eat some good food.
Yeah, that's a good one that I start to incorporate how you were saying, if I don't feel like it or if I feel like I'm starting to get burnt out, it's like that one last thing. Let me just do it anyway.
Yes.
And then I'll see if I do it, because sometimes, like how you say, you avoid the situation where you're just not in the mood. Some days you're just not in the mood, but it doesn't mean you're burnt out. You're just not in the mood for whatever reason. So that's a good way to kind of weed those days out. And yeah, if you're still burnt out the next day or even the next day after that, then it's like, okay, you got to rest. I started doing that and you'd be surprised how many times you're really not burnt out. You're just not in the mood. That's A. B, you might not agree with this, but if you are like not, whether it be burnt out or just tired of it, you're just tired of the grind or whatever, and you need a break, a vacation or whatever. What I sometimes do is don't do like filming, for example, where there would be times where I would spend like months just filming every week, editing, like no break. And what I do is don't do any of it and don't think about it. Don't do it at all. And then slowly, and in my experience, I was surprised how quick it came back where you kind of want to get back to it. But then I go like a week of still not doing it. It's like jiu-jitsu. If you're like, oh man, I'm tired of training every day or whatever, you had a tournament or whatever, and you're like, man, I got to take a break. After about probably like 3 days, if you're a competitor, 3 days, you're like, man, I want to get back on the mats. So what you do is you push that even more. So it's like you're pushing yourself to be burnt out on the recovery. So the only medicine for that burnt out of recovery is to get back into it. But that hunger of getting back into it is even more than it normally would be after a normal break.
That makes sense, I guess. And I just want to call us both out right now for being total cream puffs, I think is what Bob Hoffman said. Here we are talking about how we get burnt out on working out, training, filming. It's like Bob Hoffman was, living in the seeds of mustard gas floating around. Yeah. And maybe we should just say, don't get burnt out. Just work harder.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You made me sound real bad. They're filming.
No, I mean,
Like,
really.
guys are working in coal
I was
mines.
like, I was typing on a computer. I'm real burnt out. Shut up, Jocko.
Yeah. You know.
I got a better idea. Why don't you just be fired up that you have the opportunity to create something? How's that sound?
Yes.
Oh, you got the opportunity to go train jujitsu? To go
know,
get better
right?
physically? Oh, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm burnt out on training. No.
Yeah.
Don't be burnt out. If Bob Hoffman's not burnt out on the front lines of World War I, I don't think we have an excuse to be burnt out on the pleasurable things we get to do in life. Let's suck it up and just drive on. I'm changing my answer. How's that?
All right. There you go.